Changing the World One Sign at a Time by Sophie Lee. 10 Years of Ali Bites 2022.
Thank you so much for having me here today. My name is Sophie Lee, and as many of you would know, I was born to two world-acclaimed ballet dancers, Lee Twin Sing, the author of Mao's Last Dancer, and Mary McKendry, the author of Mary's Last Dance. So naturally, they could not wait to share their love and passion for dance and music. And when I was a baby, they took me to Australia to a very special event when they performed at the All Australian Gala. After this special gala, my father had given me a balloon at a party, and suddenly it popped. Everyone in the party jumped, except me. My father noticed, and something told him that something wasn't right. And everything in that moment changed. I still can't imagine the emotions my parents felt when the doctor walked into the room and said, "Your daughter is profoundly deaf." Their world shattered. Their hopes and dreams for me dissipated just like that. While my parents were heartbroken to discover that I was deaf, they did not want to leave me in a world where they did not know much about. Instead, they were determined for me to be an important part of their lives. It was then my mother who decided to give up her career as a top ballerina to help me hear and speak. It was tough going. My world had suddenly changed, and I did not know why. My mother had stopped dancing. I was suddenly thrusted into strange rooms with padded walls and ceilings, with large headphones covering my ears, and it was all about working hard to hear. This went on for 3 more years, and it was fruitless because with hearing aids, it relies on the fact that you have some hearing. I had none. It was luck that my mother found out about the cochlear implant. As we were living in America at the time, many were against it. The deaf community, the medical professionals, and even the hospital, because it was so new and so risky at the time. However, it was my parents' decision in the end. I was to have a cochlear implant. Half of my head was shaved off, and I had 75 stitches on one side of my head. This is how I received my first cochlear implant, and I was 4 years old when I first heard sound. However, I don't remember the moment. But for my mother, this meant the world to her. She knew that if I could hear sound, that she could teach me language. However, this didn't mean that I could suddenly talk and hear like a 4-year-old. I had to start from the beginning, start to hear sounds, then recognize them, then start to recognize there were words, phrases. And this is why.
What kind of bait do you use to catch salmon? What kind of bait do you use to catch salmon?
What kind of bait do you use to catch salmon?
So after 5 years of intensive speech therapy training, I had the hearing and speaking skills of a 3-year-old child, and I was 9 years old at the time. So it was still a long and difficult journey for my mother and me. So for many years, I continued with speech therapy before school, during lunchtime, and after school while I went to a hearing mainstream school. High school became tougher. To listen to jokes and follow gossip was like watching a car race. You only get to see one part of it. I would beat myself up because my hearing was not good enough. I was still hiding my cochlear implants. I was still apologizing to people that I was deaf. I even decided to get a second cochlear implant so that I could improve my hearing and speech. Like many other deaf people, I was 23 years old when I began my journey to learning Australian Sign Language, called Auslan. However, as I looked on YouTube, Facebook, apps, dictionaries, I even went to classes to learn Auslan. I quickly became frustrated. Many of these platforms had many signs missing or were still not yet available. The only real way that I could learn Auslan effectively was by meeting deaf people face to face. This planted a seed in me. But I thought to myself, surely there are other people who are creating a better resource so that we could access and learn a sign language. 10 years later, still nothing happened. I was surprised. And since that seed took place in me, I realized I had the opportunity to make this happen. I had an idea, a drive, and the courage to go forward. And there's still a very real possibility that my idea will fail. But I thought at the time, what's worse than to have never tried? So with my business partner Nick, who also had very similar experiences as I did, we have designed and built a sign language dictionary called SignHow, which will hold over 300 different sign languages around the world.
Today, there are 70 million deaf people worldwide that use sign language, and 70% can't read, write, and only have basic access to education. That's mind-blowing. SignHow can change this. How? Sign language dictionaries are expensive, labour-intensive, and always out of date, and none of them make money. True, but SignHow is different. One solution, one cost. It's a game changer. Anyone can upload their signs anywhere and anytime around the world. Third world countries will no longer need to wait for government funding and resources.
We believe that SignHow will help many of these countries solve their long-standing challenges, which are funding, time and resources. For example, it takes time to set up filming equipment to record signs and upload onto a sign language dictionary, and it takes hours to record a few signs. In many countries, they still rely on printed sign language dictionaries with 2D black and white cartoons. The barriers to building a fully comprehensive dictionary for sign languages is mind-boggling. However, Nick and I believe we have found the solution that can overcome these barriers. This concept empowers communities to build their own resources in real time, not to have to wait for the government or a funding body every few years or so. It allows their language to grow, evolve, and stay relevant no matter where they are. We have also built a business model that can generate revenue and sustain the dictionary itself. And I hope today that you all can join on our journey to change the world one sign at a time. Thank you.
Celebrating 10 years. Ali Bites 2022.